What is happening, YouTube? Just your average Joe hanging out on a Friday. Sales have been terrible, to be honest with you. Absolutely terrible. I don't know what's going on with eBay. eBay's, man, me and eBay are starting to have a love-hate relationship, man. But hopefully you all sales are going well because mine are not. We're going to go over comments, business as usual. If you haven't hung out with us before, this is raw and unedited. Just your average Joe hanging out in his garage, going over sales, talking eBay. I've been reselling on eBay for over 8 years, but I've been on eBay selling and buying since 2000. So 24 years at this point, long time. So definitely have a lot that I can offer and share for anything, any questions or anything that you guys have. So make sure you drop questions in the comments because I reply to those live. There's a little sunspot, I think, on my phone. I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, it goes away. I think it's from the glare. Anyway, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's like right there on my nose right now. Yeah, can you see it? I don't know if it's recording with it or not, or if it's just a reflection. Anyway, it's from that because I got the garage open, so it's like a halo effect. But all right, so we're gonna go over comments from the last video and touch on some of those. I think we got a few comments come through. Y'all know the routine. We're gonna do that first. I do have a mic, by the way, so you can hear me hopefully as I ramble and as I'm pulling orders, although I only have like 3 orders to pull, so it's pretty dismal. But let's go ahead and start. Again, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Friday. What y'all's plans for the weekend? What y'all getting into? Let me know. Drop some comments because I'm going to reply to them live. If you have any questions, or on the next video actually is how I do it. So for any folks that are new, if you want to drop a comment, I will reply to your comment on the next video live. So that way you kind of know how the format here is here in case you're new. So let's start with comments. Give me a moment here. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 comments to cover. We've got Kurt. Yo, average Joe. Nice pickup. I appreciate it. I got some other pickups here I'm going to go over and show you guys as well. I just did. I never find Saturn stuff. Straight to Cartridge Mountain. Yes. Those two went to straight to Cartridge Mountain. You like that, don't you? that's the MO, man. When I get cartridge stuff, if there's anything I'm keeping, I take it out. Any filler stuff, I will take upstairs. I have a box with all filler cartridge stuff that I would bundle with N64s, Nintendos, Super Nintendos, Sega. I really don't have many up there. In fact, I don't think there's any up there right now. Maybe 2. I may have 2 filler games at the moment. All that stuff is like you saw what I threw in there. No Mercy is like a $20-$25 game, 20 give or take, and then the other one was Star Fox, which is like 15 or so give or take. So everything in there is not what I would quote unquote be filler in that mountain of cartridge games. It's all pretty good stuff. Your Zeldas, your Marios, your Yoshi Islands, your Mario 2, your Mario 3s, your Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Street Fighters. It's all, Mortal Kombat. It's all those 15-ish and up games, a lot of them. So yeah, that's a Horde Mountain. I probably, since my sales are so bad, I probably should just start putting that stuff up. But anyway, you always keep the best games. I'm glad I don't collect anything. Oh man, dude, I collect. Luckily, I have a lot. I have a lot of stuff already. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. I mean, like, I'll just say, like, I got like, am my wife around? I got like 14 bins full of video game stuff that I've kept over the years. The last like 2-ish years since I've been collecting and reselling mainly video games. I've amassed like 12 bins. Is it 12? I think actually 12 bins. Not, well, I can tell you, there's one there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's 2 and there's 7, 8. I got 1 at 9. 10 bins worth of stuff, and that's not including the stuff I have out on display. So like upstairs, I got several systems out. In my living room, I got a few systems out. My DVD rack in the living room's got half of it's full of video game stuff, and then upstairs I got another 2 racks full of video game stuff. So it probably would end up being 14, 15 bins total if I was to put everything in bins. But yeah, I've amassed a pretty good collection, so it's nice when I get those titles that are pretty good. I'm like, I already got that one. So it's and then the ones I don't have, I do end up keeping. Yeah, being a collector and a reseller of a certain niche, probably it's like smoking your own stash, man. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's that's the only analogy I can think of. But basically, it's kind of like the same thing. So yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it, it's what's the word? At some point, I need to probably stop doing the collecting part because I don't play them. And but for now, I do have a separation. Those are not part of my collection, so those that cartridge mountain can go at any time because I've already plucked out all the stuff that I'm keeping. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to reply to that like always with a thumb up and a heart, and we're going to throw out there replied, and the latest. All right, replied live and newest video. All right, so let's keep moving. Next one up is Justin. Justin, thanks for sharing. Did I hear that you don't do Xbox? I don't do Xbox Series X, the new one. I do Xbox, though. There's quite a bit of profit to be made on the special edition Xbox 360 consoles. There is. I actually have the Halo edition. Actually, the Halo, both Halo editions, actually. I own both of them. The green one on the OG Xbox 360, the old school white one. Well, they made that one in a Xbox in a Halo, so it's like green and orange. And then the Xbox 360 Slim, I've got in the modern. Is it the Modern Warfare? No, it's the Halo 4. Halo 4. It's the one with like the blue, all the different blue colors in it and everything. It kind of looks like something out of Star Wars almost. It'd be a Star Wars console, but it's not. It's the Halo edition. And at least anyway in Australia. Anyway, yeah, Xbox stuff goes well here too. In fact, last yard sale season, I think I came across the most that I came across last yard sale season. The console that I came across the most was Xbox 360 Slims. I'm surprised this yard sale season I really haven't come across any of them yet. I'm sure I will though. But yeah, usually those sell for me. I do pick them up. I do sell them. I just don't mess with the newest stuff. So I don't really mess with the Xbox Series X, and I don't mess with like PS5s. Now I will pick up a PS5 to use it as trade bait, and I will pick up the Series X, but the digital version. I will pick those up as trade bait for retro stuff. But as far as reselling, yes, I will mess with 360, OG Xbox, even Xbox One. In fact, there's a lady right now that I'm in conversations with that she's got Xbox One with 2 controllers for $35. I was like, I'll pick it up. They so the one controller is an Elite controller. So the Elite controllers resell for like $50, up to $75 maybe even. And then the Xbox One, for me, I usually sell them for about $100 if I bundle them, obviously with a controller and like, 6 or 7, 8 games. It usually sells for me for about $100, maybe $120. So yeah, I do Xbox. That's for sure. I do Xbox stuff. Is the mic any better? If I go back here, can you hear me any better? Does it work? Test, 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 test. I guess the real test is going around this side. Test, test, test. Can you hear me? 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 Hear me? Hear me? Hear me? All right. So that's the test. I don't know if it works or not. Y'all can let me know in the comments. Does the mic do any better? I would imagine it's a little bit better, right? So especially if I step back here, anyway. So Justin, appreciate you. Yes, Xbox. I certainly will mess with Xboxes, 100%. Just not the new stuff. The only new that I resell is going to be like Nintendo Switches. Switches for me go very well. I've since last year I've been selling. I'll pick them up for $150 to $250, just depending on what's all with them, what games, with accessories, cases, extra controllers, blah blah blah. Whatever it comes with extra.
Give Nick a shout out.
Did I give Nick? I can give Nick a shout out right now. Hey Nick, make sure you comment, and I can reply to your comment on the next video.
He didn't know you were watching, Nick.
I mean, he may not watch this one. He may have just watched that one video.
Jennifer didn't make it seem that way.
Oh, that he watched it. Well, he's never dropped a comment, so I don't know if he's actually watching.
Nick, quit being ghost.
All right, drop a comment if you have questions, Nick. I can answer it live on the next video. All right. Nick, for those that are wondering what the hell was that about, I have a buddy. Well, one of my wife's best friends' husband has been lurking watching apparently, and I just found that out because I just put a post on my page about checking me out on YouTube now because we finally hit 300. So I'm like, you know what? I got a little tiny baby following. Let me go ahead and throw it out to all my Facebook people. Huh? There should be a loaf right there on the counter, no? Are you sure? There should be a loaf on the counter. I got 3 loaves. It's possible. It's possible. I gave Lily 2, and there's 2 in here, but I swear I got 3. Is there not one on the counter? Well, then, will you check that fridge? Well, no, I got this right here. So I guess I only got 2 then. I swear I got 3. That's why I had her do 2. Because didn't you tell me to get a 3rd? I swear I got 3. I don't know. All right, well, there's that. All right, day in the life of your average Joe. Losing loaves of bread. All right, so anyway, so he's been lurking, watching. So my wife there you go. So that's what that was all about. All right, so Jesus, the next question. Joe, how do I test Xbox 360, the console with the green X? Old school controller with the cable, or any controller without the system? Or any controller without the system. As always, gracias, Joe. So you're talking about OG Xbox, I'd imagine. So you're talking about this one, right? Luckily, I got one right here that's up on Facebook. Is it this one? Is it this one? He says it's the console with the green X. Well, I don't know if this one has a green X on it. So maybe it's not this one. This is OG Xbox. Green X. I'm trying to think. An Xbox that has a green X on it. Well, I mean, I test all my systems the same. So power, AV, and then you do have to have a controller for it. Typically, not always. Like PS2 will actually load. Well, actually, a lot of systems will load if you just put the disc in. They automatically start loading the discs. But the main thing I do to test is to make sure it reads discs. 9 times out of 10, I don't normally like play the system. You know, there are going to be times where the system could potentially shut down and overheat. Luckily, I haven't had that happen, and I haven't had any customers on the back end say, you know, that's happening, but that could happen if you're not actually, and I don't sit down and play them for like 20, 30, 40 minutes. You know, there are some folks that do that, but to really fully test it, that would be probably what you want to do. But again, it's that risk, it's that time value kind of thing. Like it's not really worth my time to sit around for 40 minutes to try to test this thing out to see if it ends up shutting itself down and overheating, excuse me. So outside of that, I just make sure that it powers up, that the fan does kick in. And you can usually tell when the fans kick in. It's, you know, I do leave them on for a while, especially if you got to reboot them, because I typically reset them all. But the main thing is put a disc in and just make sure it reads discs, because that's going to be the main thing that most, you know, that if it's not reading discs, then, you know, you either replace the disk drive, or which I've done in many cases and many different systems at this point, or you like OG Xbox, you can't, I mean, you can replace it, but it's the replacement drives for those are like $70 to $80, $90, some 80 give or take. So it's not really worth it because it sells for like $130. By the time you do, you know, take the time to purchase it, you know, swap it out, you know, what are you making an extra, like, you know, well, and if you were to just sell it as is, they sell for parts and repair for like 60, 70, right? 50 to 70, you know, for parts and repair. So at that point, for me, it's just, I just sell it as parts and repair if it's not reading discs. It's not worth it for me to buy a CD disc replacement for that much. Now, PlayStation, I've got one sitting upstairs, a PS2 Slim, that I've got it doesn't read discs. So, you know, the first thing you want to do is replace the lens typically. So I was able to pick up a lens for like $12. So in that case, it's worth it. It's the you know, for the $12, they sell for me for about $120. It's worth to spend the $12 to, you know, because otherwise they sell for parts and repair for like $30. It's just, you too. Love you. Have a good one. it's worth replacing the lens in those. Now, I'm trying to think, Xbox that has a green X on it. The 360s, I don't think had a green X on them, unless it's the controller that has the green X on it. I think that one is OG Xbox. Clarify a little bit for me, but at the end of the day, they're pretty much just all the same. It's your power, your AV, hook it up to a TV, or your HDMI, depending on what it is, and then really just throwing a disc in. Make sure that the buttons on the controller are working. I typically am going through the menus and making sure the controllers all work that I have with it, because a lot of times a button might not work, or the start might not work, or something. The joysticks don't work. So you want to make sure everything on the joystick works. Then I load up a disc, make sure it reads the disc. From there, if it's working and rolling, then the only other thing that could potentially have an issue is maybe like a USB port. I've had a customer once or twice, like on a PlayStation, tell me that one of the two USB ports don't work. So then I'll give them like a $10 refund or offer to do a return. They usually just take the $10 refund and they're good with it. Or it shuts down because it overheats. And I've luckily, I think I've only had that happen like once, maybe. So it doesn't happen a ton. If it fires up and it works, you're normally good to go. And it reads discs. Then you're normally good to go. Hopefully that helps a little bit. So if you want any clarification on any of that, let me know. Or if you want me to, and I blow them out. I mentioned the other video. I blow them out and everything, make them look nice afterwards, and clean them up and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I think I've only had maybe like one in all the systems. It doesn't happen often. If they're going to shut down, they usually will shut down pretty quick within a few minutes of running them, especially like the newer ones. I have had them shut down before I've sold them, and just sometimes it's the hard drive or the fan. In fact, right now, not right now. I have another PlayStation that I'm sitting on that has a fan issue. It does shut down. My buddy that sold it to me said it does shut off. I just haven't had a chance to start tinkering with it and get the fan and replace it. So it could, it just depends. And I will say also, it's pretty easy. And I know it's intimidating to have to repair some of that stuff, and most people just don't mess with it. And I don't mess with a lot of stuff either, especially if it's like soldering and things like that. I will tinker a little bit, and I'm not saying I won't solder, because I have, and I've fixed some things that way, but I've also messed some things up that way. So soldering, I'm partial. I'm like teeter-totter whether I want to do it, mess with it or not. But usually just swapping out hard drives, swapping out fans. Like on a Wii, I've swapped out the hard drives on those. I mean, or not the hard drive, the CD drive on those. I could go on and on. PS2s, PS1. I fixed the joystick on a just recently for the first time. Fixed the PSP joystick on the PSP. The front plate just comes off really, and it basically you just swap it out. It's pretty simple. A lot of those things are pretty simple. So check YouTube anytime you have anything that needs repair and you know what the issue is. Check YouTube or at least look up what it's doing to kind of figure out what the issue might be. And then if it's a cheap fix, a lot of times it's worth trying it, giving it a shot. And a lot of times it's easy. Like, for example, controller cables, normally you have to resolder those. Well, I know just from experience, and Nintendo 64 controllers, they're plug. So if you have a frayed N64 controller, you can very easily just open the controller up, find you another controller, or buy the cord just on eBay. Or if you have another controller that's all jacked up, but the cord is fine, then you could take the cord off of that one, and or just buy a cord off eBay and just open yours up, replace the cord, and you're good to go. If there's no soldering involved, it's just a plug. So that's awesome. The joysticks on those are just literally just 3 screws and a plug. So a lot of stuff, it feels, or might be perceived as intimidating, but it's actually really easy to fix a lot of this stuff. So just throwing that out there. There's your nugget for the day. There's lots of little things I could cover as far as fixing this or fixing that, because I've done a fair amount over the last 2 or so years in replacing and fixing things when it comes to video game stuff. So again, hopefully that helps, Jesus. And the last one, Gatsby says, someone scammed me on eBay for $125. I contacted eBay and they sided with the customer, with the scammer. I will never use them again, ever. nor will my family. I flip storage units, and they will never see another penny from me. Fair, to each his own. Um, I would have to say I've been doing eBay for 24 years. I've never been scammed. Um, I mean, I will say that I don't know what the scenario was and what exactly happened, but eBay's pretty good about siding in your favor if you're able to, prove your situation and show, prove that they scammed you and things like that. They have got a lot of security measures in place to kind of help and avoid the scamming. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how you were scammed. If you want to maybe drop a comment on the next video, and I can kind of uh, comment further on and touch on your comment more on the following video. If you want to give me a little bit more meat and a little bit more story, a little more contents as to what actually happened. But from the outside looking in, whenever I see comments like this, I say to myself, I don't know exactly what happened, but I mean, it's a shame that you shut off a whole platform for $125. I mean, to be honest with you, that could potentially make you a good amount of money. I flip storage units as well for my thrift store. So we don't do them as often anymore, but we used to do storage units all the time. My wife now runs and operates my thrift store. But when I was in there 5 years ago now, actually almost 6 years ago, we started the thrift store. I worked in there the first like 2 years and operated and ran it, and that's how we did a lot of it, was storage units. Now my wife sustains more so off of donations, which is crazy. But so we haven't had to get storage units in quite a while. Like, we haven't had a storage unit in like a year, probably, give or take. But anyway, I'm very familiar with storage units. I'm very familiar on how that works. I know you don't need eBay to sell that stuff off. If you set up shop, flea markets, or use other platforms, I mean, you can certainly, but storage units, you're going to get a lot of bulky stuff, a lot of big stuff, a lot of furniture, bedding, all that kind of stuff that just doesn't sell well on eBay anyway. But I'll be honest, when we did storage units, we would do our store pile, so everything that would go in a store, and then we'd have our eBay pile, everything, because once we process and filter everything, we'd be left with the eBay pile and the store pile. eBay, we would crush it on eBay when it came to doing storage units. Absolutely crush it. That's actually the reason why we started the store, was because eBay was feeding at that time. And this is my old eBay, or it's not my original eBay account. It's called 301 Treasures. Neon 3300, actually, I think, is the tag name on it, but it's 301 Treasures is the store name. But we used to crush it on eBay. In fact, the reason we started the store was because we were doing so well on eBay. We were doing probably $8,000 to $10,000 a month on eBay, just flipping storage units. And so it was me and my father-in-law, ex-father-in-law. So we decided, well, I mean, let's open a store, because there's so much stuff in these storage units that we're having to sell through yard sales and through marketplace and all that kind of stuff. Let's open a store so we have one location. People can come see us instead of having to meet people at our storage unit all the time, or meet people in town to do the bigger items like the furniture and things like that. And then all the kitchen stuff and clothes and all that stuff, we'd end up either donating or throwing away, because you get it in such abundance that it's you filter through it quick. If it's not good stuff, you chuck it or donate it, or whatever the case is. A lot of just nasty, just junky, nasty, gross stuff. We're not going to clean it and mess with it. We just chuck it. So there's a lot of trash comes out of storage units, but there's a lot of money that comes out of storage units, and there's a lot of eBay opportunities that come out of storage units. So to each his own. Again, it's a shame for $125 getting burned. I understand that sucks, but think about all the profits you probably left on the table not utilizing eBay to maximize your returns. And what I mean by that, well, a gaming system on eBay can go for $150, where you sell it locally or in a store for, well, I don't know if you have a storefront. So let's just say you sell it locally to somebody, you're going to see like maybe $100 out of it, maybe $80 out of it, versus getting a premium out of it online. So there's, yes, you can certainly still flip those things, make money, get your cash, do all that, blah, blah, blah. But I was in the process at that time, and I still am now, is maximizing my return, maximizing my profits. So eBay is an avenue to do that. Amazon would be even better, but I've tried to go through the Amazon process, and that's just a pain. So Yeah, I mean, again, to each his own. I understand being frustrated with eBay. I get it, but also, sometimes we got to swallow our pride and be like, man, I'm crushing it on eBay. Yeah, I got screwed over for $125, but look at all the money I have made, or look at all the potential that we have, or look at all the extra eyeballs you're going to get on there. Um, Again, to each his own, but or change platform. I mean, I don't know. I mean, online selling. I don't know if you're selling through a different platform now, or you just said I'm done with online selling, or just done with eBay. I don't know. Like I said, maybe give me more contents, Gatsby, and I can kind of maybe touch on it a little bit more, or get a better understanding of how you got scammed out of 125. Like I said, eBay is usually pretty good, so maybe you left the back door open slightly, left yourself open to get scammed. Maybe there was something that you could have done different, maybe that would eliminate that from happening the next time. Like I said, I can certainly touch on it again if you want to give me some more contents as to what happened. But a lot of times it's, just like I say with the sales part, what did I do? What could I do to do better? What can I do to bump this up? I'm not going to blame eBay that I'm not getting sales. I got to look at me and what I can do. So maybe in that situation, there was something you could have done to avoid from getting scammed. Maybe eBay's hands were tied because of the situation, and they didn't know they can't swing one way or another if there's no proof, if there's no, whatever the case is. I mean, I can say that buyers are protected. So we all know that buyers are protected. Sometimes we got to eat some stuff, and eat, just like Walmart and everywhere else. You get stolen goods. You gotta, whatever. Same thing selling on eBay. You're gonna have times where you gotta put chalk something up in that column that says you went negative. Unfortunately, that's gonna happen. So whether it was you got scammed and have to put a negative 125 and put that on your books, so that way for tax purposes, that 125 is part of your losses for the year. I would say that's, if you track your losses and your sales, I'm at the end of the year, your bottom line, I'm sure you'd still would be, holy cow. Okay, I lost 125, but I made X thousands of dollars, and I couldn't have done that if I wasn't using eBay. So sometimes you got to look at it through that lens. Again, I get it. I have one of my really good friends that is an anti eBay because he's been quote unquote screwed buying stuff on eBay. So he's like, F eBay. Everybody's experience there. I get it. You whatever it is, buying or selling, you may just say the heck with it, and that's just anything in life. If you've had a bad experience, the heck with it. I hate AT&T. I had the worst representative. I'm done with AT&T, right? Okay, well, whatever it is, I hate iPhone. My iPhone broke, crashed, whatever, and they wouldn't replace it. Fuck them. I'm never buying an iPhone again. Done, right? I mean, there's so many scenarios where we just cut off, whether we could have done something different or could have went a different avenue or thought about it a different way or seen it through a different lens, so sometimes it's good to have that where, just be a little bit more, but again, I don't know the whole contents of what happened. So I'm sorry to hear you got scammed. I know I ramble a lot, so there's that. So I'm already at 26 minutes and 28 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to sales yet. Again, I got to stop with the comments going so deep. But anyway, there's that. So I'm gonna reply to that, and there's that. So done. All right, let's go to sales. We don't have a ton, so I won't keep you too much longer. Orders. Let's see what we got here. We have 3 orders. So there's that. So 3 orders. Man, this person said I think this is going to end up being a return. So I put up a Motorola Razr for parts and repair, and they say they need it by July 4th. So I'm thinking they may actually be trying to use it, and it's for parts and repair. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They bought it. It's listed as parts and repair. It's got the category parts and repair. Anyway, they've got 0 feedback. So this is just me being me. Watch it be a return. Motorola Razr parts and repair. It's a pink one. Watch. That's what's going to happen. So I just listed this actually. So there it is, Motorola V3 Razr for those that aren't familiar. I showed my kids this thing, and they were like, what in the world? It does work, but the screen is jacked up. In fact, let me turn it on. Maybe the battery. Maybe I need to charge. Yep, battery needs to be charged again. So anyway, there's that. So parts and repair sold for $15 plus shipping on that one. We sold a couple books, which I don't normally pick up books. But can y'all hear me better on the mic now? I would imagine you can hear me a little bit better. I don't normally do books, but I did sell these and I did pick these up. I'll never pick them up again. I don't normally mess with books, but Twilight, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn. Uh, yeah. So anyway, these sold for whopping. I picked them up for $1 a piece. They sold for a whopping $8 plus shipping. So there's that. So yeah, my sales. Oh, by the way, the sales between yesterday and today, 3 sales for $52, which that does include shipping, because I was wondering if that included shipping or not. And yes, that includes shipping. So it's not really $53. That's your total. So after said and done, it's less. It'll be less than that. That's for sure. Okay, and then the last thing, Motocross Maniacs. Motocross Maniacs. So Motocross Maniacs on Game Boy sold for $7 plus $5 shipping. So there's that. So I'm gonna get this stuff packed up. That's all I got for you guys. Oh, marketplace pickup. So y'all can tell me in the comments, did I do good or not do good? So there's a little game that we play. Did Joe do good or did he not do good? So first thing I picked up, well, they're both. This is the same pickup. It was $40 bucks. $40. It's a Sony. No, this one's the Panasonic. So it's a Panasonic camera, digital camera. I think this one is. It's actually not digital. It's the old school tape. The old school tape cameras. So, and it's got the charger. It's got all the stuff in it. I'd imagine possibly it's got the big bulky charger with it. So he said they all worked last time. They messed with them. He said they plugged them up, or they last time they used them, they worked. That they just been sitting in the garage, basically, is what he said. So we'll see. The other one was a Sony, another one, in a nice case as well. This one's a Sony. So same thing. You got the charger, and you've got, what is this? Was this a memory stick thing? Let's look at that in a second. You got the controller for it, and this one is, I believe, digital. I think this one is digital. Yeah, this one's digital. So Sony digital camera. So I didn't look them up, but for $40, even for parts and repair, I'm sure I can get $40 out of them if I need to break myself even. But I didn't look them up because I just, that intuition knowledge, just, I already know they're ooh, we got some memory cards in here. Oh, they're only 32 megabyte, but which is terrible. Oh, 8 megabyte. That's even worse. So, but anyway, it does have some memory cards. It can hold, I don't know, 7 pictures maybe. No, more than that, but 50 maybe, 50 pictures. I don't know exactly how many pictures, but anyway, so $40. The way my gears turn, it's like, you know what? I know I can probably sell both of those for parts and repair for the $40. So again, I haven't looked either one of them up. Pretty sure. In fact, let's do that real quick. We're only at 33 minutes. Let's look them up real quick. This is what we do. This is how we do. Let's look it up. This is a Panasonic. Let's see what we get here. PL. So this is all I do when I look stuff up. So little insight, I guess, little nuggets here. So it's a Panasonic, and it's model PV dash. We're gonna find out together. PV-L759D. 759D. All right, let's see what we get. So I search it, and obviously, when you search, you don't want to. Is it right? PV-L 759D. Oh, I forgot the L, huh? 759D. L. 759D. Let's make that capital. Not that it matters, but all right. Let's see what we get. All right. So once I search, always go on the left hand side. If you're searching on a computer, you've got the option for filter, and you always want to click on sold, which will automatically also select completed, which means it's going to show you items listings that have sold and completed, and that's going to give you a better idea of what stuff is actually selling for. So it looks like 799. Maybe it wasn't the best pickup. I show one that sold on May 20th, just the camera by itself for $55 plus shipping. So sell through rates technically would be 1, but there also wasn't many up either. If you want to look at sell through rate, you just basically look at how many are up versus how many sold. How many are up results? So there's only 15 results, and some of them are parts and repair, and others are not the same. Yep, some of them are not the same camera either. So like somebody has one up with just the charger and the remote for 105. Somebody else has one up for 55 with a bag. So I don't know. Maybe that one's not the best pickup. It is what it is. They all can't be huge scores, but I'd imagine it's got everything with it. It's got the bag. It's going to be more desirable than a lot of the ones in there on here. So we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty confident still. I'm going to price it as long as it works. I'm going to price it at I'll probably go like $79.99 and see what happens. So there's that. The next one is a Sony. So that might sit for a while, possibly. I'm confident it'll sell, and I'm confident I'm going to make money as long as it's working. But how long will it sit for? That's remains to be seen. This one is a Sony DCR dash TRV 70. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's a little better. That's not bad. Let's go to completed. Let's see what we got for completed. All right, so the completed. Okay, TVR7 mini DVD camcorder. Why does this have 2 on here? Let's find a different one. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, about. I mean, one sold for 139, one sold for 134. They took an offer, so that sold for less than that. One sold for 35 camera only. Another one sold for 172, free shipping from Japan. And then there's another one up that has looks like another camera with it, sold for 148. That's also from Japan. That's a different one, and that's a different one. All right, so that one might be a big that one might be a good turnaround on that one. So that one I'll probably put up for it's got everything with it, assuming it all works. Memory card, I'll bundle it up, make it look nice and new. In fact, they both look pretty new and nice. The guy said they only used them a handful of times. So assuming they work, which honestly, when I test those, I just power them up, make sure they work. Take some pictures, record, make sure the eject thing works. If it's a tape one, make sure it picks up on the memory card. That the memory card, it shows up that's got a memory card in it, because sometimes the memory card slots won't work. Do I make sure it holds a charge? Not usually, because they can always get a replacement battery for pretty cheap. As long as I can't tell how long it'll hold the charge. The battery will hold a charge because I charge it and test it. But as far as how long it's going to hold the charge, that I don't know. But anyway, so they're pretty easy to test, and they're both clean. So there's not a whole lot of cleaning and processing there. It's just a matter of getting all the cords nice and neat and look nice, so I can take nice pictures and make it look cool and look neat. So I'd imagine that one I'll probably put up for 150. So, and that one might sell for 150. So I'd say it's pretty good, 40 into 150, and then the other one maybe get 60 to 80 out of, possibly. Not too bad, I don't think. Cameras, just like he said, cameras are kind of that still are becoming people know about them that are in the resale community, but also people don't know about them in the resale community. video cameras and camcorders and digital cameras, there is money in them depending on which ones they are and stuff like that. But normally there's money, even if you can get them cheap enough, there's money in usually all of them. It's just how much. And like this guy said, I just picked this up this morning with this fellow, and he was like, oh, nobody uses these anymore. Everybody's got their phones now. Fair, you're not wrong. However, there's a market, a pretty large market for digital cameras still, and camcorders and things like that. So the nice thing is because people don't perceive there's value in them anymore, you can a lot of times, and I've said this before, a lot of times pick them up pretty cheap. So there's your nugget. Also a nugget for the day. Keep an eye out for camcorders, digital cameras, things like that. Even the VHS recorders, the mini VHS recorders, the CD recorder ones. They made the camcorders that were CD recording. The mini disc is what they were. Any of those. Even the little bit newer ones with the hard drives and all that kind of stuff in them. So anytime you see cameras, I would say if you're not familiar with them, look them up. You'll be surprised a lot of times. In fact, I just picked one up last yard sale, that last Saturday. I showed off on the video that I showed all my stuff off from Saturday's yard sale. For $5, I got the Sony in the box, the Sony digital camera in the box, and that one sells for like $150 for $5. And that's happened time and time and time again. People don't perceive those as valuable anymore because you got your phones, and everybody's got their phones. So it's kind of like video games to a degree too. Everything's digital now. You can buy all the emulators now. You can get all the stuff cheap now. You can get them all in one system now. Who wants the old stuff? There's a large market still for all that stuff. So, video games is not quite as on the same level by any means, because there's still a lot of people that do, because there is a high demand on video games and things like that. But a lot of people still perceive the video games as not being valuable. And same thing with digital cameras. So there's that. So there's a nugget. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully the mic worked out a little bit better. Maybe. Test. So there it is right there, just hanging out. So, but that's it. So sales, we went over questions. We went over my marketplace pickup, $40 marketplace pickup. I think I did pretty good. Y'all let me know how I did. Did I do okay? I'd say I did okay. I think that Sony is gonna 4 times my money. So, and then the other one is just gravy, whatever I can get out of that one. So that's it for me, guys. I'm off. I'm hoping sales pick up over the weekend, because I think I'm set to deposit like $300 right now. It's not much, which is crazy because we had a crap week 2 weeks ago because I was coming off of vacation mode. Last week, crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. This week, terrible. I'm going to put out clickbait. eBay's dead. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I might see you tomorrow showing off what I get at yard sales tomorrow. So you may see me again. That table still has a bunch of stuff on it. I'm going to try to process it today. I thought yesterday was Wednesday. So I'm a day behind. That's a whole nother thing. I'm a whole day behind. I thought yesterday was Wednesday. If y'all picked up on the video, I kept saying tomorrow's Thursday. Well, yesterday was Thursday. So anyway, I messed all that up. But yeah, so yard sales tomorrow. I went this morning 2-1. There was nothing there. It was trash. There was one about 40 minutes out. I was teeter-tottering on going. I decided not to go. I didn't want to burn all that gas for it maybe to not be any good. Although he did advertise games, old stuff, and all that. I was just like, I don't want to drive 2 hours round trip. So I didn't go. But tomorrow's yard sale day. So we'll see what we pick up. If I pick up some good stuff, I'll probably put a video out just to show off the things that I picked up. But if for some reason I don't jump on tomorrow, I will be back Monday, because I'm assuming I'll have some sales between now and Monday. I would hope. Maybe not much. Hopefully we can do like $600, $700, $800. That'd be great. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you, and drop some comments. We'll make sure we cover those on the next video. And that's it. Just your average Joe. Y'all have a good one. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and comment if you want me to answer anything. Bye, guys.